On the other day, we built a chat application that can take the user inputs, can hand it over to the backend large language model. It will process it and will provide the output. Also, we have a database where all our chat transactions are being recorded so that the end user would be able to see his chat histories as well. Assume that we are getting a request from a banking customer or a pharmaceutical customer, where the customer is having a set of KBA articles. When we interact with our chatbot, it should refer the particular KBA articles and it should blend a response according to the KBA article rather than its learned model. In that case, we have to provide the source of data. That source of data is called context. The end user will provide a question to the chat application. The chat application will compile this question with its context so that the large language model will take this question as well as the context, and then it will craft a response based on the context. So for that, we need a data store where we would be saving all the KBA articles data. In the traditional or a typical Llama model, the latest model can support up to 128K tokens. If the token number is more than that, we have to use a dedicated database. That database is called vector database. We will discuss that later. Now we are going to set a context where we would be providing the basic details about our KBA so that whatever the questions will be coming to the large language model will fetch or search in this particular context and will provide answer to the end users. Good day guys, my name is Melvin Satishan. Let's move on to the coding and integration part. So for that, we will take this into two parts. One is we are going to ingest a data to a variable. The second part, we will integrate this with our chat application and we'll do the exercise. Okay, so we are moving on to the data ingestion segment. For that, we have to import LangChain community dot document loaders. We have to import PyMu PDF loader. Okay, and the second one that we need to import is OS. That's it. Next is we are going to import loader equal to PyMu PDF loader, and here we have something called KCB bill. I'm just giving this relative path, right? So I will mention it in this way. Cool. And it has been loaded. Now I need to see loader equal to loader dot load and the data, right? So I'm going to print the loader, the content of loader. If you look at this, we have it is converted into chunks. So hopefully we may have 3 pages. Let's look at it, how many pages we have. For that, print len and loader. Okay, so we have total 3 pages, and in this 3 pages, let's say we are printing here loader. Loader is having 2 parts. One is the metadata, which is the each page's data about the data, and the other hand, if we go, we have another segment called content. That's called page content. That's the content pertain to the document. Now, we are considering a scenario here. Our work directory is workshop underscore 5. Here we have a file, a single PDF file, right? So we are going to ingest whatever the data inside, whatever the PDF files are there, that PDF file data we are going to assign to a variable, right? So that variable we will be declaring it inside the chat prompt. How do we do that? For that, we are going to take this, let's delete this first of all. We don't need it anymore. Now, os.walk, we are going to do a walk inside workshop underscore 5. Okay. Now for root comma dir comma files in oswalk print root. I'll explain it. What is that basically? So in this case, we have to print it. Fine. So here, workshop 5 is the folder that we are trying to print it here. So let's give the full path rather than the relative path. Here it's not picking. Okay, it shows the position 2-3 truncated. Okay, we need to declare it as we have to put R. Okay, we have received the full path. Perfect. Now we are going to check the files. What are all the files inside that, right? So we have .env, chatbot py, chatbot rag py, and we have a PDF and ipynb and ipynb. So we are planning to ingest the PDF documents, right? For that, for file in files, right? So I'm going to print file. Okay, so we have received around total 6 files, right? Now if file dot ends with, I'll put dot PDF. In that case, I'm going to print this file. Okay, we have only one file now in this case, right? Now what is our plan is files equal to or PDF file equal to a list, and here we will say PDF file dot append, and here we have file. Okay, now we are going to print the PDF file. So we got a list of file. Assume that if I agile practice, if I put it here, let's move it here, and if I execute it again, I'll have 2 files, right? I don't want that 2 files basically because my system is not having that much good GPU, so we will land into trouble. So I have only 1 file. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do here is, let's say I'll comment it this first of all. Now here we are going to do, earlier we did the OS loader part, right? Now I'm going to do file, actual file underscore file equal to So what we need to do here is we have the root here. Let's print the root. Okay. Now we are going to join this root first. How do we do that? File equal to os.join os.path dot join. Inside we have root and file. Okay. Now let's print actual file. So this is the actual file path. Okay. Now our next task is data loader equal to PyMove PDF loader, and in bracket we will give actual file. Okay. So next is loader equal to loader dot load and the content, right? Next we are going to print this loader, right? Excellent. So we have this document, under the documents metadata and the page content. If you look at the length of this, we have 3 pages, right? Okay. Now for elements in loader, let's iterate it over there. Then print elements. Okay. So it printed in this way, right? So first is page content, and we have the metadata like that. So I can open it in a text editor. So if we look at it, page content we have, and other metadata parts as well. Okay. So in that case, so if you look at it here, you have the metadata, right? The data about the data. In that case, what we are going to do now, we will do, rather than the PDF file, file data equal to a list. Okay. Now here we have the elements, and elements inside elements, or let's print elements. From there we will start. Okay. We have this elements, and inside this elements we have page content, so that we will get the exact content of this page, right? So how do we do that? Let's put this page content and let's print it. Okay, this is an object. So if it is an object, we have to put dot rather than declaring it in JSON method. Excellent. So we received the exact content from the page, and we have here the page number 1, right? Next, what we are going to do, the file data, we would be pushing this into the content. We are passing it into a file data, right? Let's print that here, or we will print it here. File data. Okay, it has been printed. Perfect. Now this is a list. We are going to do data string equal to /new line. Each page we will take 2 new lines dot join and we will put this file data list here, and we will print the data string. Okay, so the whole 3 pages will be in the form of a single text file. Okay, we have everything in our page. Perfect. Next, our next step is so we got the necessary data here, right? So what is the next step? So we used this module, and we used the import OS module, and we have received this part, right? Now we will request our chatbot to use this context and answer the question. Okay, for that, what we are going to do, we have our chatbot here, right? Let me take it into two screen. So in this chatbot, first thing that we are going to do is import this 2 modules. I'll say context. So this is the first module that we are importing. The next part is this one. So we are going to define a function. So define function like a get PDF data equal to. So we will just hard code it for now, because we have all the necessary things, right? I'll save this and we'll come out from this, and I'm going to return data string. Okay, excellent. So this has been saved. In our next case, when our program will be getting executed, we need to load this first. Okay, so for that, I'll say context equal to this one, this function, and just execute it. Okay, I'll come here, and then we have here the prompt, read the contents, answer based on the situation, and here we have the prompt, and answer is supposed to be printed here, and the role is you are an assistant, right? And in our chat message, here is the trick that we are passing the things, right? Now here the prompt is coming when the user is giving the question, so it will be feeding from here, then it is typing it here. So just after this, we have to declare prompt equal to I'll make it as a statement. Context is context and question is, I'll just put a space so that prompt, so that it will not unnecessarily mess up our chat application, because if I pass it from here itself, it will unnecessarily mess up in the content and it will create the problem. So rather than that, I'm just doing it because we don't want the whole context in our chat history or somewhere, right? Whenever we are passing some questions, it should bind with the context and get it answered. That's it. Okay, to make it short and sweet. All right, now let's start the chat application. So we have started the chat application. I'll put it in to window. So this is my first window. and this is my second window. I'm going to start a new chat application. Okay, data string is not defined. Well, where is that error? Line number 82. Okay, so what I'll do is, rather context, I'll put it here. Okay, now it should be all right. It should not throw any error. Perfect. So what happened is, it has clearly taken the output, or it has already taken the input from the PDF. Okay, let's verify that. So I'm going to ask, what is my consumer number? Okay, it thrown some error. Context is already there. Sorry. I'll stop this chat application once and start it, because we have freshly loaded that, right? Okay. It's still throwing the error context. Perfect. So let's figure out what is causing this problem. Okay. Here, define get PDF data. That's okay. It's working, and we are returning the data string. That is also okay. Okay. So the data string, here it is. I'm just going to print the data string here. Okay. Now if we go to the chat application, start a new conversation. Okay, so it is getting ingested. Okay, so context equal to get PDF data. All right, now it should come to it's interesting why the context is not, why it is getting. Okay, what we will do is, we'll take it out from here and put it in the below series. Let me stop the application and start it again. Okay, it has been loaded. Now what is my consumer number? My apologies, since as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, my system is having somehow less GPU, so it may take some time to get the prompt response. So it is running in the background. So in this case, we are, so something is happening in the background, right? Perfect. And what is the amount to be paid? My next question. Unfortunately, the system is not responded. So let's ask once again, what is the amount to be paid? Still it is running in the background. Well, I know in this case we are passing the context along with the question, so that there would be quite a reasonable number of tokens will be consumed, since it is a the model is free and we don't need to pay anything, so it's perfectly all right, and all we need is adequate compute power. If you look at it, wow, it has provided us a very good message. And I will ask one more question. Where is your registered office? If you look at it in the left hand side, we have here, so let's see whether they will be able to provide us this output or not. And before we conclude, we will look at the original document that we ingested, so that we will come to know that the model is right or how much is the accuracy. And additionally, I would like to say that we haven't done any much prompt engineering here. We just told the model that you are an assistant, just look at the context and craft your responses accordingly. So when it comes to multi-agent or agentic AI modeling, we will do, and we will more focus on prompt engineering as well, so that our probabilistic response will be more accurate, so that we can effectively use it for the deterministic transactions, right? So let's wait for one more minute. Kindly bear with me. Unfortunately, here also it hasn't printed because of this resource crunch. So where is your registered office and what are the factors? Okay. I have asked two questions since it is not responding. Let it process it again. Look at that, it is already recording the things in its history, and we have two beautiful avatars as well. And in the interest of time, we will go to the document and let me look at it here, right? So this is basically our bill, and if you look at it here, consumer number is 115705752 115,705. Okay, that consumer number is fine, and total amount that we need to pay is net payable is 95 Indian rupees, so that is perfectly fine. And the bill date that they have mentioned here is somewhere, yes, 1/2/2025. They clearly mentioned this as well, so perfect. So this is much more aligned with the bill, and let's look at it. So we already told you that there are 3 pages, right? So we have ingested all the pages, and let's look at the response again. And kindly note that the registered office is somewhere here. Yeah, Vaididi Bhavanam, Pattam, Trivandrum. So let's wait for the response from the, yeah, Vaididi Bhavanam, Pattam, Trivandrum. So this is what it is printing here, and the data. Okay, perfect. So that's all for now regarding a PDF data ingestion, and next we would be discussing about the database, because the llama model 3.2 or 3.2:3 billion, so 3 billion model supports up to 128k tokens. So if it is beyond that, suppose you have data in petabytes and all, in that case this is not going to support. So for that we have to use a dedicated database. That database is called vector database. We can use ChromaDB or PostgreSQL or any high-speed Redis or any other high-speed database can be used as a vector database. Okay, so we will discuss that in the next video. Until then, bye bye. Thank you so much for your time, and let me know if you have any queries or suggestions regarding this session. Thank you all. Bye bye.